Hey Clear Lake peeps, Ross England here with Clear Lake Guide Service with your fishing report for 11/5/2020. We're getting there. I'll tell you what, it's ugly, but we're getting there. So we did fish a couple times this week, and my report's going to be based primarily on that. So let's do activities first. For this coming weekend, there's a BASS Nation event. I have no idea how many boats that's going to draw, so I do not know how much that's going to affect the weekend fishing pressure. It's usually not a big deal, but the way, and especially in conjunction with what's been going on and the size of some of the tournaments that we've had, probably not going to be a super huge deal, but nonetheless, they'll be here this weekend, and then that is actually the last weekend for a while for any multi-day events for November, December, into January. So, it's wintertime coming up, but at least we're going to be able to get the lake back and enjoy it. So, those are the activities, conditions. I think the water level, is just below 0.7 right now. I think I saw it was 0.67 Rumsey. So it continues to drop, which it will. It'll probably drop an inch and a half to 2 inches a day. We've had pretty good weather up until, I think, tomorrow. It's supposed to change for tomorrow and Saturday, but it's been getting up into the low 80s, but the morning lows have been pretty cool, been in the high 30s. So the water temperature's dropped. It's kind of hanging around the 64, 65, 66 degree range, depending on where you are and what you're doing, which part of the lake that you're in. So it really hasn't gotten to where I'd like to see it. When it starts dropping down in the really low 60s, high 50s, then things really start to pop. But the good news is we are starting to find a few better fish here and there. We had a 6.5 this week, and I know I've talked to a couple of other guys, and they've had some better than average fish as well this past week. So numbers wise, I know one of the other guides reported I think they had 39 fish one day fishing with live minnows. So that was a pretty good day. Our numbers kind of fell off a little bit as far as just total numbers. I think we had 11 fish the other day. 2 days in a row we probably averaged 13 fish a day, but we did have a good, one good fish each day. So I can't really get a whole lot going on in the mornings, and that's something that's kind of sounding like it's consistent with other people. Is the first hour or so in the morning is somewhat slow, and then the bite starts to pick up, obviously, as it starts getting warmer as the day goes on. So the first couple hours in the mornings have been pretty slow for us. The reason I share that with you is the last morning I was out, I fished up in the Lakeport Inn, and that did not work out well for us at all. All the fish that we caught were in the mid-lake area, down through part of the Rattlesnake Arm and part of the Redbud Arm. So, and we caught fish probably consistently. This last day was probably more fish in the 18 to 22 foot range than shallow fish. So I would say that we fished a little bit deeper this week and had a little bit more success doing it, which was good. Most of our fish came on actually drop shot, although we did catch a couple shaky head fish, a couple underspin fish, some ripbait fish still. Kind of backed off a little bit on the ripbait fishing just because there was just too many tournament competitors around. So I did throw a jig a little bit, and me personally didn't do very well with it. So look for there to be a lot less boat traffic during the next week or so. those of you who are still asking about crappie and catfish, I just haven't been able to pursue them. So as soon as I have the time to go out and pursue them, then I'll have a report on them. I will say that the amount of graphing that we did just running around looking at places, I really didn't see that many. So I'm probably in the wrong places, I guess. So I still kind of have to rate the fishing as fair. I was surprised with the last tournament because there was actually quite a few 19 to 20 pound weights. There was only a couple of, true Clear Lake fall weights, 23, 24, 25 pounds. There was only a couple of them. For the most part, I think the top 10 all had 20 pounds on day one, but I think it was 42 that won it for 2 days. So, those aren't huge weights. Kind of typical for this time of year. You get you get a handful of 3.5 to 4.5 pound fish, and then you stick one good fish to go with it, and now you have a good weight. So I'm still going to rate the fishing as fair. I'm not going to go anywhere beyond that. And I would definitely spend more time down in the midsection of the lake and, kind of the middle of the lake in general. We ran down, Jim and I, this week, and we hit some stuff way down south, and it didn't produce at all for us. So whether it was timing or whatever, we fished Friday, first day of this tournament, and there were not any boats around us. So it wasn't just us. The other competitors who were looking for a bite couldn't find it either. Couldn't tell you what happened. It's Clear Lake being Clear Lake, but I think your best bet right now, still covering a lot of water. I really do think the jerkbait is still a really good bite. Those of you who still like to throw an A-rig, probably is a good time to start doing it because they're in a good range for it. The jig is always good this time of year. We do well with worms, deep crankbite. Some people reported during the last tournament that they caught fish on day 2 on a deep crankbite. So, man, it's kind of fall up here that, it's one of those falls that you kind of just have to junk fish. So don't be afraid to throw anything. Move around as much as you can. And I think that's going to be our fishing report for today. Hopefully we'll be able to spend a little bit more time out on the water this next week and kind of explore a little bit more stuff. We kind of kept it to a minimum because of some other stuff going on. But before I sign off, Brad, Anna, Sebastian, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Love you guys. Take it easy, and we'll be talking to you. You Clear Lake peeps, thanks for watching. Thanks for the comments. Really appreciate them. I ran into a couple of you out on the lake this week, and I love the hell out of that. So don't be afraid to pull up and say hi if you see me. Thanks. We'll see you next week.